3 reasons why tall women struggle to tone up and what to do about it. First, we need to demystify what tone really means. If someone is toned, all that really means is that they have muscle tone. And this can easily be very confused because what a lot of women think is that if they just diet and they eat less, they're automatically going to look toned. But what they don't understand is that they need to be smart about the way that they approach their nutrition and training so that they can build and preserve muscle, because having that muscle mass is what is going to give you that toned look. You also have to understand that looking toned is very individual to you. You admiring someone else's toned and lean body doesn't mean that you are going to get the same results as them. An example of this is I used to aspire to look like Kendall Jenner. Now, if you look at Kendall Jenner's physique, she is very thin. She has a thin frame. And my mindset back in the day was I wanted to look as thin as possible. I also wanted to see some muscle tone. And so I had my eyes on her physique, not knowing that that was very unrealistic for my body. I naturally have a bigger frame and I have bigger legs than Kendall Jenner. So toned on me is going to look very different than what she looks like. And that is okay. That is a good thing. It is a good thing that we all have individual bodies, and uniqueness is a very beautiful thing. But we have to realize that, or else if we are trying to look like someone else, we're literally never going to be happy, because it's impossible to look like someone who has a completely different body type than us. All of this to say that there is nothing wrong with wanting to tone up a little bit, see more muscle tone on your body. I think it can be a really fun goal to have, but you just want to make sure that you have very realistic expectations for your body, and you want to make sure that you are not pursuing aesthetic over your health, like what I used to do when I was very deep in disordered eating. So once you have realistic expectations for your body, you need proper training and nutrition. But these are the 3 things that I find getting in the way of my fellow tall girls. Number 1, we have higher metabolic needs than smaller women, which means we tend to always be hungry. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you are not paying attention to the foods that you're eating and you're not eating consistent, balanced meals, you are definitely going to feel chaotic around food, and that can lead to overeating. So there's usually 2 scenarios that tall girls fall into. They're either, I don't eat, meal type of girl, and you're just snacking all day long. You're basically just grazing. So you're not really having any significant balanced meals. You're just kind of snacking all day long and you're always hungry. There's also the tall girl who isn't really eating much during the day. This can either be intentional or unintentional. So tall girls can feel like they need to restrict their food, right, to get that toned look. And so you might be skipping meals, or this might be unintentional. Maybe you're just like not hungry throughout the day, or you're busy, or you just forget to eat. So you're basically just not eating a lot during the day. But what then happens is you get really snacky at night and you're overeating, or you're completely blowing it on the weekends. So those are the 2 scenarios that I see. And either way, you are overeating calories. And this occurs because if you're restricting food, even if it's unintentional, your body not having food ends in cravings. And this occurs because if you're restricting food too much, even if it's unintentional, like you just forget to eat, what your body is going to do is respond with extreme cravings. These cravings are just your body trying to get you to eat more. Think about how if you hold your breath for 2 minutes, right? You're like holding your breath. When the 2 minutes is up, you're like, like gasping for air because your body has been deprived of oxygen. The same thing happens with food. If you are restricting too much, your body is going to respond with extreme hunger and cravings. It's going to be like, oh my God, like please give us food. So what you need to do to overcome this is start getting your eating routine very consistent. So no more skipping meals and trying to save calories for later. And you need to start eating proper amounts of the right foods. I recommend learning how much food your body needs through tracking because it can be extremely freeing. When you have the right mindset going into tracking, and when you have someone like me, a registered dietitian, showing you, hey, these are the ranges that your specific body needs, how many calories you need, about how much protein you need. You don't really need to worry about how many carbs and fats, right? Like extreme macro tracking, this type of like bodybuilding style, if you work with a bodybuilding coach, that can really mess up your relationship with food. But the way that I teach it, it's very flexible, and having that flexible mindset is what contributes to having a healthy relationship with food. And tracking can help you understand how all foods can fit. Suddenly you understand how you can literally have a cookie every single day and you don't have to worry about magically gaining weight because, oh my gosh, I ate a bad food. No, none of that. You know that all foods can fit. You have permission to eat all foods. And when you can see how that fits into your plan and your calorie budget, your protein budget, right? All of that, it's very freeing. You're like, oh, wow, I really can eat any food that I want and I can still get the results that I want. And I don't need to have any of this mental drama. I'm actually improving my relationship with food at the same time. Now, I know that some of you don't want to track, or maybe you have just a really bad experience with tracking, so you're not ready to do that. And if that's you, a good starting point is just to start eating 3 meals and having at least 2 balanced snacks. And you want these meals and snacks to be packed with protein, packed with fiber, and having the proper portions of carbs and fats for your tall body. For tall women, a good baseline number, just something to go off of, because I know it can be helpful to have some guidelines, is 40 to 50 grams of protein at each meal. You want 50 to 60 grams of carbs at each meal, and you want about 20 grams of fat. Now, again, you don't have to be perfect with this. You don't have to be like, oh my gosh, like I have to be hitting these ranges. No, like as long as you are eating high protein, like, trying to get to that 40 to 50 grams of protein range in your meals, and your meals are within like 500, 600 calories, that's a pretty good benchmark. And then getting the rest of your nutrition with snacks. So if you aren't tracking your food, how you're going to determine that is either working with a dietitian to help you do this, or you're going to be listening to your body's cues. So if you're getting hungry in between your meals, that's your sign that your body needs more fuel. It needs a balanced snack. Also understand that the amount of calories your body needs is highly determined by how active you are. So this is assuming that you are working on strength training and you're working on your fitness at the same time. If you're completely sedentary and you're not working out at all, then you might want to take a different approach. But overall, this is a pretty good guideline for all of my tall girls, especially if you have chaotic eating going on. Like, try this approach. It's going to make all of the difference. Some of the high protein snacks that I like to include every day are things like Greek yogurt with granola. I love to make protein chocolate chip muffins. And lately, my absolute obsession has been using the Ninja Creamy to create a high protein Oreo McFlurry. Oh my God, it is ridiculous. It is so insane. It gets me excited just thinking about it. I also have a video if you want to learn how to make it. So yeah, so eating intentional snacks, eating high protein can actually be extremely enjoyable and improve your relationship with food when you have some guidance and when you have these recipes. If you want to take the guesswork out of this, definitely apply for my program below. I would love to talk to you and really just see if we could be a good fit, if you're a good fit for me, if I'm a good fit for you. And yeah, so we could just chat it out. Apply below. The second reason why tall girls struggle to tone up is because you're not following a training program designed to make progress. I find that tall women tend to stick to a lot of cardio and a lot of lightweight Pilates style workouts because they have an underlying fear that lifting heavy weights will make them bulky. They also tend to think that having too much muscle is going to make them seem more masculine. And that can be a very common fear for us tall girls because we already take up a lot of space, right? We're already bigger in nature. So it can be scary to think that we're going to take up more space if we have too much muscle. And that can just make us feel big and not confident. I used to be this girl for sure, which is why I really want to try to challenge this narrative in you. Because once I did this for myself, it changed everything. It changed my relationship with food. It changed my relationship with my body. It changed my confidence. It changed my body too. And I'm now actually in a bigger muscular body, which I was so scared of before. Like, I weigh my heaviest now, but I am my most confident. I love my life. I love my relationship with food. And this is just solid proof that your weight means jack shit. Your weight literally does not mean anything. It is all about the way that you feel, the way that you care for yourself, the way that you carry yourself and respect your body. Those are the things that matter at the end of the day. Numbers don't mean anything. So I completely understand if you do have a little bit of a fear of getting too muscular or looking, too bulky or masculine, or, all of these terms that we use. All that's really describing to me is that you don't want to feel not confident in your body, right? Like, we can all agree that we want to feel our best. We want to feel our most confident, and that's going to look different on all of us. And what I can promise you is that you are not going to gain just pounds and pounds of muscle overnight, right? It does not happen that way. And if you are fearful of looking like these intense bodybuilders that do have tons of muscle, for one, a lot of them are not natural. They are literally taking testosterone to look that way. And two, you are a tall girl and it is harder for us to build muscle. So you just really do not have to worry about the fact that lifting heavier or lifting weights is going to make you have these ginormous muscles. It's not going to happen that way. So lifting weights and using a progressive overload program is the key to getting lean, because you are building muscle and you know that you need muscle in order to see that muscle tone and for your body to lean out. But I would also say that lifting weights is key for being more confident and gaining confidence regardless of what your body looks like. I say this because when you start to train and you are using a training program, you are challenging yourself every week. You're finally focused on what your body can do instead of just what it looks like, right? Like just showing up to Pilates class or showing up to the HIIT workout and just like checking it off your to-do list and like always comparing yourself to the other girls in the class and, focused on burning calories. That's a very different mindset and way of working out. There's nothing wrong with those workouts. But when you compare to doing a training program and competing with yourself, focused on the function of your body, focused on, okay, what can I do? What can I fuel my body with so that I can get the most out of this workout? What can I do so that at the end of this training block, I can prove to myself how strong I really am. So yes, lifting weights and training in this way that I'm describing is key to getting toned and lean, but it is also key to just feeling better overall and becoming your best self and truly learning to respect your body. And while I am not shitting on Pilates or random workouts or workout classes, I definitely take my fair share of those things when I just don't feel like training, and they're absolutely helpful for your health. All forms of movement are healthy, and that is a beautiful thing. Just understand that if you really want to maximize your training and you want to play around with this other side of fitness, of learning to be more confident through training your body, this is absolutely something that you should consider, and it's going to maximize your muscle building, which tall girls need, because you need the muscle to look toned. Reason number 3 is patience. Tall girls definitely need to be patient while building their healthiest physique that they feel confident in, because we are larger and it takes longer to build enough muscle to really see it. If you think about it, a pound of muscle on a short girl, they're going to be able to notice that really quickly, versus we need to build 2, 3, 5 pounds of muscle to really notice a difference. So you definitely need to be patient. I know that can be hard to hear, but what I tell my own clients is if you have a plan where you're enjoying the process and you're getting more confident along the way, you're not even worried about the result. You're just living life, enjoying this new lifestyle and way of working out and way of eating that you're absolutely in love with, and the results just come on their own. And you're like, oh my God, it's been a year and I didn't even realize that I was doing all these things and I was getting getting all these results. They just came. They were a byproduct of the habits that I now am in love with. And if you are ready to build your healthiest tall girl body and you want to have a healthier relationship with food, you're tired of guessing and trying to figure all this stuff out yourself, apply to my program. I can absolutely help you out. And I just think of myself back when I first started my fitness journey. If I had someone to just tell me like, hey, this is what you're struggling with, this is what you need to fix, I would have saved so much time. I would have saved years. So that is ultimately my goal, to help my fellow tall girls and for us to just feel our best. Like, life can be so short, and why waste time not feeling great about ourselves, not having clarity and figuring this stuff out and figuring out how to care for ourselves in the best way? You can literally buy time by working with someone. And so that is the same approach that I've taken, especially just like in my own business. And anyways, I'm just a big advocate of being able to buy time and having someone coach you through a process where you need some clarity. So apply below. It's a no pressure deal, right? If you're a good fit for me, I'm a good fit for you. We can have that conversation. And I would just love to see how I can help you out. That is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, my fellow tall girls. Definitely say hello to me in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I feel like us giants just automatically have a special bond. So definitely say hi in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.